Yep, recording.
Alright, you're here in my apartment, and got my wonderful roommate Garrett Williams on the camera, and I'm a big fan of chewing tobacco as well as dipping tobacco, so I went on YouTube and found a little video where a guy describes his way to make his own chewing tobacco. So I thought I might as well do it myself. All you needed was apple juice, molasses, a little bit of salt, which everyone has, and all these things are easy to get. Even if you ain't got molasses, you can find it, even though it's fucking hard to find in Walmart. Thank you. And you have to have the right tobacco. While this may be the good stuff, this wasn't the right tobacco for my experiment, as it turns out. I wasn't listening very well when I watched the video, so I ended up getting pipe tobacco, which I also have a pipe, so it is useful in that regard. But it wasn't useful here, because what it made was like this fucking sloppy ass mess. And yeah, so first of all, pipe tobacco is cut a lot shorter than your typical chewing tobacco. Here's Southern Pride, which actually isn't my favorite, but it's just what I happen to have here. Yeah, okay, compare? Yeah, no comparison. No comparison. This can be chewed, it's thick enough, it's long enough, and it's also a lot darker and, well, tastes better and is better in every other way. But, yeah, that can be chewed, this cannot be chewed, so I'm gonna have to dip it. Also, it's like 8 billion times more sticky. I actually mixed this up with all my fingers and I had to go wash my hands in the sink to actually get this, you know, get this shit on my hands, but I'm gonna have to go back in just to get the pinch. And then I'm gonna freaking jam this in my lip and see what it's like. I'll probably get a cavity right away because we probably used too much molasses. It's probably not gonna taste very good. And also, the good stuff, well, any pipe tobacco in general is super, super dry. They leave it out to dry, and that's what they use for cigarette tobacco and cigar tobacco and all that, smoking tobacco. So it's not meant to absorb juices like molasses and stuff to make chewing tobacco. So we got the wrong tobacco. We were supposed to get a greener tobacco that was meant for chewing. The guy in the video calls it pipe tobacco, so that's where it confused me. I guess it's green pipe tobacco, whatever the hell. So, anyways, I'm gonna give this shit a try. So zoom in, Gary, to the plate. Look at that. It looks fucking awful. Look at the strings of shit that's just completely dry. Because I got the genius idea of adding in more dry stuff after it was already in the plate and then trying to at least make that wet again because we had a lot of juices. Okay, so it's pretty lukewarm. It's kind of cooling down now, so it's not too hot. So it won't burn me from that. And I don't even know if this is even going to give me any nicotine. So enough fucking talking. How many minutes are we into this already?
3.
Oh, only 3. Okay, so we're doing all right, but I wish it had been shorter intro. Let's just fucking cut to the chase. I'm going to pinch off. That's a pretty big dip. It'd be small if it were a chew, but we're not fucking chewing this because I know that's going to end in fucking disaster. Although I might later just for entertainment value. All right, see my face, man. And I know it's taboo to pull your lip out and put it in. You're an experienced dipper, but this shit is so sticky, it's gonna get all over my lips and make a huge fucking mess. And I just don't feel like dealing with that right now, considering everything else I'm inevitably going to have to deal with as a result of this. So, let's pop it in and do it. And I know I'm doing it the wrong way. Look how receded my gums are. And that's just fucking disgusting. Smokeless tobacco can cause gun disease. Well, it can. It doesn't necessarily. Okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Okay. Mm. Mm.
What's wrong?
I can't fucking talk. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Wow, man, I did Death by Wintergreen. I was like fucking all these crazy wintergreen dips at once. But I could talk through that, and despite how awful this was, this is kind of leaving me dumbfounded. Okay, first of all, there are many things wrong with this. But the worst part is it's not all bad. Like I might actually be able to do this again and somehow get it right. Okay, so if there was some, if there was some kind of tobacco that was like fine cut and moist, like what they used to make moist snuff with, and I did the same process to it, it would probably work. But the problem is it's dry, so it's not absorbing the juices. But what happened is, it's not packing at all. Like it just isn't. Like the pieces of tobacco do not want to be friends with each other, and it's just getting all over the fucking place. Now that I've begun to suck the juice out, it's starting to solidify like a long cut dip would. Because it's actually, the cut of the pipe tobacco is probably about similar to a long cut dip, with a few like long ass strands, so maybe a real cheap ass long cut dip. But the flavor is actually fucking good. I was afraid it was going to be like tart or whatever. It's actually a really good flavor that you would get from chewing tobacco. Of course, not done as well as even something like Southern Pride, which is low on my list of chewing tobaccos. But like, it is a good flavor. It's kind of like I'm dipping a chewing tobacco right now. Except it's cut as fine as a moist snuff, and it just isn't staying together, and it's also so sweet. My teeth are actually hurting from it, and I get this from having it in a dip too long, especially sweeter dips. And this is definitely sweet. And not gonna lie, I kind of like it. It's kind of, the way I did it wasn't ideal for chewing tobacco anyways. We were having problems with getting the right thickness of the apple juice before we added the molasses. Our apple juice was too thin when we added the molasses, so then we had to boil the apple juice and molasses together, which seemed to cause further problems. But even that seems like it would have been survived had we had the right chewing tobacco. So actually, I'm going to call this a success. Even though this is pretty damn terrible, and if this were in stores, no one would buy it, especially since it's so fucking sticky. I think every problem is actually caused just by the fact that it's the wrong tobacco. So I think we could do this again, and even avoiding the mistake that we did make it actually kind of good. If I could get a hold of the right tobacco, I'll probably try it again and actually do it right. But as things stand, probably just because I made it and just because it's not awful, it's not god awful. It's pretty bad, but it's bearable. I will finish this whole pile, which looks like it's probably about 3 or 4 fucking cans worth. It's almost like approaching a Grizzly big can in amount here. But I'm definitely gonna have to dip this. No way in hell I'll chew this. I mean, I can, if you want to see that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take it out now. And you can see how much drier it is. And how less gummy it is. And it's basically starting to get more and more like you're just dipping dry tobacco, which is an awful experience. Yeah, fuck it. I'll chew it and see what happens. I got the apple just to drink in case something goes horribly wrong. Look at the smile on my cameraman's face. Okay. I can't believe I'm doing this. So it actually isn't breaking up that much like a dip would. What? So I wouldn't recommend trying exactly this if you've never chewed tobacco before. But if you're an experienced tobacco chewer, or at least you have good control of your tongue and your teeth, you can keep this from sliding back. And you actually can chew it. I've never had smokeless tobacco that you could chew or dip and get similar effects out of. By the way, in terms of buzz, I'm not really feeling jack shit, and I feel buzzes from any nicotine experience, so maybe again that's trying to orally ingest smoking tobacco. I think that's where that's coming from, so it's not really good for a buzz at all. But I think if I used dry tobacco, it would be. Now it's starting to break apart. So basically what happens is as it stays in your mouth, the saliva starts to break apart the thick syrup that was created with the molasses and concentrated apple juice. And it starts to piece apart. And as time goes by, it gets worse and worse and starts to feel like you just put a bunch of dry ass fucking pipes back in your mouth. And I just got a signal for 10 minutes. Which is okay, it's a long ass video, but I can post that, so. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, I gotta take this out. Oh, wow. That was so much worse for putting it in. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. Okay, you ever take a chew out and then just like leave it on the table like you're gonna go finish it later and you fucking forget about it and then like hours later, that's what it looks like. It actually kind of looks like that. Like it's been a chew that's been chewed a little too hard and it's broken up a little bit. Oh my god. Oh, I spit. Oh. I would use a mud jug, by the way, but I can't get those yet because I'm not 21. Do you need to be 21 to get those, or you need to be 18? I don't know. I'll check that out later. I'll get one. I'll get my hands on one as soon as I can. Especially now that I can mail it to my own address and not worry about my parents seeing it. Although I can worry about my parents seeing this video.
Alright.